Hello my friends, I hope you're doing super duper awesome, and in today's video I'll show you how you can create this incredible PowerPoint morph animation, accordion navigation. And as you can see, once we're clicking on these beautiful tabs on the left side, we're getting some additional information. And at the same time we're getting some beautiful photo parallax action going on the right side. So in today's video I'll show you how you can create all of this. Let's go! Alright my friends, so let's jump into PowerPoint and let's start creating this beautiful accordion navigation, and for that let's just jump into our tutorial slides. Feel free to download these tutorial slides for absolutely free and follow along this tutorial. So first of all, let's go through all of the shapes that we have on this slide, so just a couple of text boxes, a couple of lines, and here we have a couple of beautiful arrows. And what's special about these arrows is that I have given them specific names in the selection pane. As you can see, all of these arrows have these double exclamation marks, and that is to help PowerPoint to understand, which arrow is which, because later on we'll be using morph transition and PowerPoint might get mixed up. But since we're using those double exclamation marks, everything is going to be fine. And as you can see here in the slide master view, I have added a couple of shapes as well. And here on the right side we have this little menu icon and this little year text box. These guys are staying in the normal view because I want them to be on top of these beautiful photos. And as you can see, we have 5 photos in total. And later on, with the help of the morph transition, we will create that beautiful vertical parallax scrolling effect. And before we continue, let me give credits to the creators of these beautiful photos. So this one comes from unsplash.com, link is in the video description. And all of the photos of this gaming laptop come from rogue.asus.com. You can go to gallery and check out all of the photos. And this video is not sponsored by Asus, but it would definitely be cool if someone would send me a gaming laptop so that we could test it out with PowerPoint. And now let's get back to PowerPoint, obviously, and let's duplicate the first slide. Just hit Ctrl D to do that. And now on the second slide, let's delete all of these text boxes, and as well let's zoom out and let's delete all of these photos as well, because we'll be doing a couple of adjustments, and for now it's best to keep this slide number 2, almost empty, just like that, okay? And now let's jump back to slide number 1 and let's start inserting some hyperlinks to these beautiful arrows. You could as well add hyperlinks to those text boxes, but let's use arrows for this tutorial. You can hit Ctrl K to start inserting hyperlinks, but I just noticed that we need a few more of these black slides. So let's just duplicate them a couple of times so that we have 4 slides. Because as you can see, we have 4 tabs and we need a slide for each of those tabs. That's beautiful. So let's get back to slide number 1, let's select the first arrow and hit Ctrl K and let's link it to slide number 2. That's beautiful. Now let's select the second arrow and let's link it to slide number 3. That's awesome. Let's select the third arrow, let's link it to slide number 4, and as you guessed it, the last arrow should be linked to slide number 5. And if I may say so, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And now let's select this slide title and let's add a hyperlink to it as well. Let's link it to slide number 1. So whenever we click on this slide title, we should always come back to slide number 1, our homepage slide. And now, since all of the links have been already added, we can copy these text boxes to slide number 2. That's beautiful. And now on the second slide, we'll have to add some additional information for the first tab, 2 screens. So let's just jump back to my previously created presentation, and as you can see here we have this little text box with some additional information about this tab, and as well have a beautiful photo on the right. So let me just copy this text box, let's get back to our slides and let's paste the text box, and as you can see we have to make some space for this text box. Okay, so we can just select all of these guys at the top and let's just move them a little bit upwards, just like this. And now there should be enough space for this little text box. Let's try placing it somewhere right here in the middle. Looking beautiful. That's nice. Alright, and now let's make sure that we select all of the slides. You can hit Ctrl A to do that. And now let's go to transitions and let's choose morph transition. And for the duration, I'm using 1 second. Morph transition will do the animation. It will basically connect slide number 1 to slide number 2. And we should get some beautiful animation. So let's play the presentation and let's see what we have created so far. And once we click on this little arrow, we go to slide number 2. Once we click on the slide title, we come back to slide number 1. And the morph transition is doing all of the magic. That's super duper awesome. And to add some extra awesomeness to this arrow, we can hold down the Alt key and hit the right arrow a couple of times to rotate it so that it looks downwards, just like this. And now we can copy all of these guys and let's paste them into slide number 3. That's awesome. And now let's move this text box a little bit to the right side for now. Let's reset the position or the rotation of this arrow, and now let's select these guys, CPU and GPU, and let's move them a little bit upwards so that we have some space for this new little text box. Okay, let me just copy some text from my previous presentation about this awesome CPU and GPU. Alright, let's paste it into our beautiful little text box. That's awesome, and now let's position this text box somewhere in the middle of the CPU and GPU tab. And once again, we can hold down the Alt key and hit the right arrow key a couple of times to rotate this arrow. Alright, so let's check it out once again on the full screen and let's see if everything is still working. So this is our second slide, this is our third slide, second slide, first slide, okay, the third slide and the first slide. So everything seems to be working just fine. Okay, so let's keep on going. Let's copy these guys from slide number 3 and let's paste them into slide number 4. And now once again, I'll just have to move this little text box to the right side for a quick second. And now let's just reset the rotation of this arrow. And now let's just grab all of these display shapes and let's move them upwards so that we have some space for this new text box. And once again, let me just grab some text about this display tab and I'll catch you in a second. You're doing wonderful progress, my friends. Display tab is ready, and now let's copy all of these guys and let's paste them into the last slide, slide number 5. And once again, let's move this text box to the right side. Let's reset the rotation of this little arrow. Let's grab all of these cooling shapes. Let's bring them upwards. Once again, let me copy some text from my previous slide and let's just rotate that arrow as well. Alright, my friends, all of the text boxes are ready on all of the slides, and let's check it out on the full screen and let's see if everything is still working as before. So it looks like that all of the links are working just fine, and we have all of the information that we need in all of those tabs. Super duper awesome, and as you can see, we now have to start working with those photos on the right side. So let's just jump to slide number 1, let's zoom out and let's just select all of these 5 photos. You can hold down the Shift key to select multiple photos at the same time. And now let's jump to slide number 2 and let's paste all of those beautiful photos right here. Just let's make sure we send them to back so that we can see all of the text. And now let's just move all of those photos upwards so that now we can see the second photo in the slide window. Just like that. And for this first photo, let's just move it halfway downwards, just like that. This way we will make that beautiful vertical parallax effect. Alright? And now let's select all of these photos on slide number 2 and let's paste them into slide number 3. And now once again, let's make sure that we send all of those photos to back, and you can hold down the Shift key to drag these photos in a straight line upwards so that we can see the third photo in the slide window. And once again, for these photos at the top, let's make sure that we bring them halfway downwards to make sure that we'll get that beautiful vertical parallax scroll. So let's just keep on going and let's just paste all of those photos from slide number 3 to slide number 4. Let's just make sure we send them to back and let's move them 1 photo upwards, just like that. And let's just grab those 3 photos at the top and let's bring them halfway downwards, just like that. Okay, and let's repeat the same procedure for the last slide, slide number 5. And I'll catch you in a second. Alright, my friends, all of the slides are ready, all of the hyperlinks are in place, all of the photos are in place, and now we should just basically enjoy the final result. So let's go to slide number 1 and let's hit that slideshow button. Congratulations, my friends, now you know how you can create this beautiful PowerPoint Morph animation, accordion navigation. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe so that you don't miss my future videos. Thank you so much. Additionally, I want to say super huge thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon and to all of my students on Udemy and Skillshare. Because of all of you, I can keep on doing what I love, creating the best PowerPoint tutorials that I can. Thank you for watching, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you on my next video.